Lonzo Ball, Lamelo Ball, Devin Booker, and Jalen Hurts. Should you be buying, selling, or holding these players? Let's find out. What's going on, guys? Matt here, back again with another video. Today's video is going to be my first episode of a buy, hold, or sell series. Now, I'm not going to take credit for this series. Other YouTubers have been doing it first, including Sam Dunks, TRIKE415 Sports Cards, and Sports Card Investor. I've always liked it as an idea, as the sports card market is very fluid and opinions can differ on certain cards. If you guys aren't familiar with the concept of this series, you guys send me through some cards and I'll tell you whether I would buy, sell, or hold the card. Now, I don't claim to know everything, but I try to research every card and give my best opinion on it. And I think the fun part of this series is actually reflecting back and seeing what I thought on certain cards, and potentially looking at why I was right and why I was also wrong. Another thing is, when you guys submit cards for this series, make sure you give out specific sets for it as well. I'm saying this just because a player can be undervalued but can still have overvalued cards, and vice versa as well. I don't want to be saying Kobe White's a buy and that his cards are undervalued, and then you go out and buy a Prism PSA 10, which is really overvalued in terms of the pop count, and then you lose out money on that. But let's start up. The first card that we're going to be speaking about today is Lonzo Ball's Prism rookie card. So Lonzo Ball had a poor start to the season. In his first 15 games, he actually averaged 12.5 points on 40% field goal percentage, which is really poor for a guard. But as of his last 15 games, his game has absolutely improved. He's gone up to 17.5 points, whilst also averaging 4.5 rebounds and 5.5 assists. The best thing about this latest scoring run is his efficiency. He's actually shooting at 45% field goal with 45% three-point field goal, as well as 85% from the free throw line. Now, this shooting play won't be sustainable. Even looking through the last 15 games that he's played, the Pelicans are only 8-7, even though he's been playing very well. This just highlights there's no correlation with Lonzo Ball's scoring and them winning. But I also think they're being held back by their coach, Stan Van Gundy. I actually think if the Pelicans can grab a new coach in the offseason, I'd be much more bullish on Lonzo and the rest of his teammates. In saying that though, I think Lonzo Ball's Prism is still a buy, provided you don't pay more than $15 US for it. As you guys can see, his Prism is trending down from the start of the season, and in January, it actually hit a low point at $3 US. I can definitely see this card hitting $30 US if he can maintain his play and if the Pelicans can make some noise. But I don't think that's going to happen this season, and I'd be probably looking at next season, if anything, for Lonzo. The next card that we're going to be speaking about today is Lonzo's younger brother, Lamelo Ball's Rookie Hoops card. Now, Lamelo has been the best rookie so far this season. Initially was coming off the bench to start off the season, and even though his coach said he was probably going to be there for most of the season, he's actually started to start right now for the Hornets. Since starting for the Hornets, Lamelo's averages have gone from 12 points a game to 20 points a game, with a similar amount of rebounds and assists. Now, you may say just because he's getting more playing time, it means he's able to shoot more shots, but he's actually being very efficient right now as well. He's averaging 46% from field goal and 43% from three-point field goal, which is really good for a rookie. Another positive I've got for Lamelo is he's only 2.5 months into his first season. I know he played professionally in Australia beforehand, but I actually suspect he'll build into the season a little bit more, which is actually quite scary considering how well he's played. Now, I don't think his shooting numbers will be sustained. I do see him hitting a floor of around 18, 6, and 6, with his three-point field goal percentage hitting around 37 to 38%. And I think that's a season that most rookies would actually be proud of. Considering that this draft class was meant to be average, I think Lamelo has given a lot of hope to this draft class. When specifically talking about his hoops card, it started off really hot at $160 US. And it's currently almost hit the floor right now at $21 US. Normally when you see cards hit a floor, it actually means it's a great time to buy. But with the release of other impending products, I actually think this card is a sell. Once the Lamelo market becomes more saturated with other sets like Prism, Optic, or Select, people aren't going to look at hoops cards as much unless they're after something that's a bit more low end. If you compare it to Zion's rookie hoops card, someone who I think has more hype and is playing a little bit better than Lamelo, his card's actually going for $20 US. So I think Lamelo's will hover around this price point. And if you haven't sold yet, I'd probably sell just to fund some better Lamelo options later in the season. The third card that we're going to be speaking about today is Devin Booker's Prism-based rookie. Now, this card's actually been trending down from the start of the season, but it's actually started to make its way back up. Devin Booker actually had an unusually quiet start to the season. He actually averaged 20 points per game for the first 5 games. You have to understand the Phoenix Suns are completely different to last season's team. You've also got the inclusion of Chris Paul, who's a ball-dominant guard. you got to include Mikal Bridges, who's played really well out of nowhere. And then you also got to include Jay Crowder as well. I think gone are the days where Devin Booker has to score 40 points for the Phoenix Suns to just even have a chance. In saying so, as the season has progressed, so has Devin Booker's stats. In the month of February, Devin Booker averaged 28 points per game. He actually also led the Suns to a 12-3 record. If people have forgotten, the Phoenix Suns went 8-0 in the bubble, so they just narrowly missed the playoffs. And I actually think they've got a much more balanced team this time round, so they'll be out for more redemption. His prison base actually dipped to under $100 US in late January, but has more than doubled now with his scoring run up to around $220. I still think Devin Booker's prison base is a buy for now, but I wouldn't be paying more than $275 US unless you were thinking about grading the card. In the bubble last season, Devin Booker's prison base actually reached $300 US. So if the Suns make it deep into the playoffs, I can definitely see this eclipsing that number. The last card that we're going to be speaking about today is Jalen Hurts Prism Rookie Card. For all of my non-NFL viewers out there, Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. He was actually drafted as a bit of a shock as the Philadelphia Eagles already had Carson Wentz, who is an MVP level type of quarterback. But after Carson Wentz's poor season, he was actually benched in favor of Jalen Hurts. Now, I actually love Jalen Hurts' story. For those of you that don't know, he was actually the starting quarterback for Alabama. During their national championship game, they were actually down at halftime and he was benched for Tua Tagovailoa, who's the Miami Dolphins starting quarterback right now. So when you get benched in probably the biggest game of your life, you can take it in one of two ways. You can go and sulk and moan about it, or you can do what Jalen Hurts did and support your backup and lift everyone else up to a win. I think what he did says a lot about his character. In his 4 games that he played, he had alright stats. He had 6 touchdowns and 4 interceptions with the Eagles, but the team just looked better and much more confident with him playing instead of Carson Wentz. His prisms are trending down and currently they're at $33 US. And in my opinion, they're definitely a buy. I think there's less pressure on him now that he knows he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. You've also got to remember he's got a passionate fan base behind him. I think if Philadelphia can build around him through the draft and through free agency, I think Jalen can only grow from here. The NFL card market is also at its lowest point, but once the draft and free agency start to happen, people's excitement will start to go up. Those are my 4 buy, sell, and holds for now. I'll be doing a submission for these as often as I can on Instagram, so give us a follow at Matt's Card Shop so you can submit your own cards there. Let me know down below what you guys thought of the 4 cards that I picked and whether you guys agreed or not. As always, guys, I appreciate the support that you guys have been giving me. Give us a like and hit the subscribe button if you guys haven't already, and I'll see you guys in future videos. Take care.